Hey everyone, Eric Vickery here with my close and longtime friend, Jeremy Stone. Jeremy is not only a good friend, he's just got the best integrity ever, and I completely trust him wholeheartedly, and he works for a bank. Jeremy, tell us about your bank.
A little bit about myself. I've been in banking for 22 years. Little backstory: Eric and I actually went to the same, went to university now, so we'll call it. But been in local community banking for 22 years now. I'm with Five Star Bank, and we are in fact ranked in the top 20 nationally in our SBA program.
And not everybody is in that category of being able to even have an SBA department, correct?
That's correct. Some banks aren't affiliated, or they don't want to have an SBA department within their bank organization.
Got it.
A lot of that. So the bigger banks are going to probably have a department, but your smaller community banks may or may not.
And it is really nice to be able to call someone and actually talk to them, right?
That's exactly right. Hey,
yeah.
You can just call me, Zoom me, whatever.
We're all working from home. Everybody knows what my life is like now. So, and you're in Chico, California.
In Chico, but I can service anyone in the nation.
Yeah. And in Redding. So if anybody anywhere in the country wants to work with you and go through the process of this SBA 7 loan, which you've told me it's called the Paycheck Protection Plan, is that correct?
That's correct, Eric. But we're going to call it PPP.
The PPP. All right. Awesome.
P.
The triple P. So they can use you, and the only thing they need to be able to process this loan through you is what?
A loan application, which I forwarded you, Eric. You have that, or you can get it from me. It's the SBA 1919 application.
Okay.
What's really important for your clients right now is to compute the loan amount, and again, that is it's in the policies in place right now. It's 2 times the monthly expenses.
Two and a half times.
2.5. Sorry, yeah.
2.5 times monthly expenses.
Yeah,
so they can determine that and give that information to you, and they just need to have an account with you or something.
That's a requirement with the bank is to have a deposit account, so we can just transfer those funds from the program directly into the deposit account.
So let's assume that we want to go through this program. We know that we can use you. We know that you know what's going on. How easy is the process to get the loan? And I'm going to call it a grant. Is that okay?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. How easy is it to get the grant?
Really easy, because it's backed by the government. I just need the loan amount, like I said. There's no underwriting at this point. I just need to know why. Why are you applying? Well, because of COVID-19.
Yeah.
That's really it. COVID, loan amount, get me an application, funding. As far as approval goes, it's really fast. It's streamlined. And funding could be, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, just depending on how clogged up it gets.
So there's confusion on a couple standpoints, because the American Dental Association is telling everyone on their webinar today that they have 8 weeks to spend the money. What is your understanding of that?
My understanding is the 8 weeks is the time frame in which you just have to be in the system. So June 30th is the last day that this program is available. So you have to apply before June 30th.
That's the 8 weeks, is to get the money, not to spend the money.
Not even get the money. You just
apply.
You can apply June 30th and not get the money 3 weeks after that.
And the risk in waiting long to get this is there's only so much money that the government's going to give away.
Correct. Sooner the better.
So we want to get in now on a quick, easy process. Get the money now. Now, let me ask you this. Do I have to spend all the money I get? Let's say my overhead is, on an average month, is $50,000. So I'm going to get $125,000 in this grant from you. But I'm not going back to work. Maybe I want to pay my employees while they sit at home and do nothing, maybe work remotely for me, come in here periodically. What if I don't spend the whole 125? What does that mean?
Well, I mean, you can spend it or not. I mean, I would say spend it. I mean, there's going to be expenses.
Spend it. And can the owner of the business pay themselves in that money?
Absolutely. If it's
payroll, right?
Salary, yeah, absolutely. Paying himself a salary.
There was some concern about over $100,000 employee getting paid in this. So they have associate doctors. They themselves could make over $100,000. The owner doctor could make over $100,000. How do you perceive that?
Well, let's just say, call it 100,000. Get
Okay.
what you can right now.
So
Backed up
so
by the
so
government.
tell you on the application that my income is $100,000.
That's right.
Okay.
I guess what I'm saying is, in your calculation,
Mm-hmm.
2.5 times month, put 100.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
And my employees. Now, let me ask you this: will you walk them through the application, or they just need to fill out the application, submit it to you, and it's remote, or how does that work?
That's right. So what I emailed you, it's a fillable PDF
Yeah.
file. It's
Okay.
just fill it out, save it, email it to me, and we'll get it going on it.
Okay. And what sort of documentation do you need from them to support the disbursement of this grant money?
Nothing right now. Let's just get it, the primary thing right now. I don't need tax returns. I don't
Yeah.
need a P&L right now.
Yeah. Will you need a payroll summary at some point?
At some point, maybe. Yes.
Okay.
At this
All right.
point, maybe.
Okay. And I just want to
Still
make sure
unclear
everybody
on
knows,
that.
you want to be honest in this process,
Mhm.
as much as possible. And just you looking at your QuickBooks, you're saying, what was my payroll for a month? And tell them what that amount is, include
Right.
you in that, and let's see what goes from there.
That's
So
correct.
you just can't pay out yourself more than $100,000 equivalent.
That's correct.
All right. So let's go through some of these questions here. Oh, I know, the layoff versus employee. This is a paycheck protection plan, right? So I laid off all my employees, and they're getting unemployment. So I'm not paying them. So how does that work?
You got to hire them back.
Okay.
Essentially,
By when?
what I've heard right now is April 1st.
Okay. So let's say Monday or Tuesday next week, I'm hiring all my employees back so that I can now start to pay them. We're shelter in place. They can't come to work, but I'm still going to pay them with this $125,000 I got. They're going to stay at home, and I'm pay them their normal rate. They're not on unemployment anymore.
That's correct.
Now, the danger in that is if I get $125,000 and I pay them for 4 weeks, I pay my rent and my utilities, my phone, my everything. And then month 2 goes by, I pay them. You've given me basically 2.5 months survival. If this, COVID-19 goes beyond 2.5 months and now the money's gone, I feel like that's a problem.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
There's a lot of unknowns at this point.
Yeah. So
what I'm guessing.
So let me ask you this. I can't keep my employees on unemployment past April 1st and still get this money to pay them later, like in June. Oh, we froze.
Yes, I'm back.
Say that again, because you froze up, Jeremy. Say that again.
Oh, I just said you can the eligibility is hiring them back.
Yes, we have to hire them back.
I mean,
So we can't leave them on unemployment and get this money and then later on take them off unemployment like in May 1st and then pay them.
Correct. Yep.
And so that's conflicting information, just so you know. We're hearing different things. And so I really want to clarify that. I will be doing another, I'm sure, listen in to Cedar and what they're saying about that too, because I know it's brand new. So my hope was that you could keep your employees laid off for however long. And as we saw, hey, it's time to come back, shelter in place is released. Now we're going to start paying our employees while we're working, but it sounds like that's not the case. It's actually paying your employees so they don't go on unemployment. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's look at some of these questions. I haven't even looked at them, so let's see what we got here. 1099 like business owners, like me. I'm just a 1099 guy. I don't pay myself anything. I'm probably, can I go qualify for this if for some reason, it goes. So let's say I have a dentist who's 1099, right?
Yep. So you're an independent contractor, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. They qualify.
Okay. So they could pay themselves too. Okay. We have application forms. Somebody said they won't even have application forms until April 4th or 5th.
Well, what I emailed you, we can use.
You're going to use that one.
We're going to use that. If there's amendment or changes to that application, we can do that internally. Okay.
And then, all right, that's a tax question. I'm going to skip that. Let's see. If I lay off, how long do I have to rehire? We just addressed that. Let's see. Okay, it doesn't matter if someone was an independent contractor prior to this year if they were a W-2 employee now in the office, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. And let's see. We addressed what's the time frame to apply for the loan deadline, June 30th, we said, right? But we're
That
worried
is
the money's going to run out though, right?
yes, sooner or later. Yeah, sooner than later.
Okay. All right. Let's see. It says, if we apply now, but we don't go back to work for 6 to 8 weeks, can we delay the loan disbursement until it's needed? We address that. We should not do that because we need to rehire them. Okay. All right. Let's see. This one is also asking about if the crisis extends beyond longer than the anticipated and we have to furlough the employees that we are currently paying on the loan, will we be forgiven the payments that we made up to them to that point? In other words, if I don't bring everybody back, but I'm paying them and it goes too long and the business still shut down, am I still forgiven the debt?
Yes.
Okay. We used it appropriately.
That's
I agree with that. Okay. Okay, that's an unemployment question I'm not going to use for you, but I will answer it here since somebody asked it. If my employees are not laid off, but they have applied for unemployment insurance on the basis of reduced hours, would they still get the extra $600? They should apply for 100% layoff if they were going to do that. And then it says, do I have to lay off my employees for them to be eligible for the extra $600? Yeah, they should be on full 100% layoff. So the other route, Jeremy, is don't do the SBA 7 loan, right? Just lay everybody off. Let them go get the supercharged unemployment. You know, in California, that's $459 a week plus $600. That's $1,059 a week. They can live off that and get their mortgages, deferred, that sort of thing. But that doesn't help the doctors like this loan would do. It just helps the employee, right?
Well, it helps the employee, but then yes, to answer your question, yes. However, what would help the doctor is rent, utility, and other expenses.
We need to be able to pay for those things, and let's get the free money from the government. Okay. All right. I'll take $125,000 of free money. That's a link to watch. All right. It says, will our personal financial statement be taken into account such that we may be considered too wealthy to receive the SBA loan?
The answer is no.
Okay.
No,
great.
Not at all.
Can we apply and qualify for the loan and keep funds frozen until the day we reopen?
I would say no. I mean,
No.
You can't freeze the funds.
Yeah.
But technically, what do you mean by freezing? I mean,
in other words,
I'm putting it into my account, and you can use it at your discretion.
That's right. Let's look at this a couple different ways. One is you can't do that and leave your employees on unemployment. It doesn't work that way. They've got to be hired by March 31st, I'm going to say, to be safe. So you're just going to tell your employees,
you're hired.
Becky, you're rehired.
Yes,
report that to unemployment. Okay. We're rehired. So that April 1st, you start a new payroll. Okay. Mm-hmm. The second thing is I may not use that whole 125. I have until December 30th to use all that money. Correct?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Okay. And then if I use it all within that first time frame, it is completely forgiven. I don't have to pay it back. However, there's some confusion about if I go over $10,000, any amount over 10,000, only 10,000 is forgiven. Is that correct?
That's not correct.
All of it can be forgiven, whatever I use, if I use it appropriately. Okay.
Right.
And the other part of that question is, at what point does it turn into an interest-bearing loan?
I believe it's December 31st or in the next year. Interest only.
Yeah. How does it turn into interest bearing? What happens in order for it to be interest bearing? Like, I didn't use the money right. I didn't use it all. What was it?
Or you used it for non-eligible expenses.
That's it right there. So if I use this to go spend money on marketing or to buy new equipment, I saw it can be used to pay the interest on debt occurred prior to February 15th of this year. I sent you guys a list. You should see that list of what applies. You got to use it for that money. If you don't use it for that, it's going to turn into a 4% loan, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. It says, I saw something on the SBA page that said loans only given to people that can't qualify for with other lenders. Is that because they're talking about a different type of SBA loan?
It sounds like it. Yes. I mean, there's two different loans right now that are underneath the CARE Act. What we're talking about is the Paycheck Protection Program.
Yes. Okay.
Where it's forgivable.
What's the other one that you're talking about? What's the second one?
It's for it's a disaster.
The disaster one. That's the one we want to avoid.
Yeah, I
That's
would.
not forgivable. That has interest. It's 3.5%, all that, right?
That's correct.
You
That's
see
correct.
disaster, go away. That's a
Go away.
disaster. Yeah, that's
Yep.
right. Okay.
You can actually apply for both of them, but the
Yes.
proceeds, the purpose cannot be for the same
Different
purpose.
uses, different
Yep.
uses.
Yep.
Okay.
You got
I would think of disaster as, hey, I can use this however I want. I could go buy another practice right now it's struggling. I could market and go get more patients. I could do things that are outside of the scope of the PPP plan, right?
That's right.
Okay. It says, are they going to need denials or something? How do they determine this? It is also actual economic damages for bills that can't be paid. How do we know? We don't know how long this will last. There's a lot of questions in here.
Mhm.
So are you going to be denying anybody these loans?
My answer is no at this point. I mean,
Okay. I would think,
this is backed by the government. The
yeah,
government is telling us to get this money out to our small
yeah.
businesses, and we just have to run with it and
I,
go.
I asked you this question earlier. I hope you're okay with this because I didn't want to send Jeremy a bunch of free work because these people, my people aren't paying you. I'm not paying you. So but you're not doing free work, right?
No. So what happens? A little like something behind the scenes is we are a bank. We are a preferred SBA lender. What we do is we get a tiered point basis paid to us by the government. So that's how we make our income. It's paid by the government
On the backside.
on
Okay.
the back end of it. Yeah.
So I'm not quite understanding all of these questions. How do they determine this? So I think he's basing it upon the fact that only given to people, some people can't qualify, but it doesn't sound like that's the case. I would think the only reason to not qualify or to not get the money is if the money runs out.
That's correct.
So
Yeah.
let's get the money before it's gone.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, a lot of questions about delaying because they're not ready to go back to work because they can't go back to work yet. That's the big question right now. So
Right.
the 8 weeks thing is creating some confusion on you have to spend this money by 8 weeks. And your understanding is no, you have till December 30th to spend the money.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
you don't think there could be some difference between a regular small business and a dental office that has 8 weeks to spend this money, but we probably will spend this money in 8 weeks because we're gonna be paying for things, right?
Absolutely. It could run out. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you absolutely
So
could run
so
out.
we should get the free money. We should take care of our employees. We should pay our bills. And we can see patients on emergency. We could do training online. We could call patients. They're going to be getting unemployment checks. They're going to be getting a bonus from the government. There's no reason they can't pay their dental bill here in about 3 or 4 weeks. The
That's right.
insurance company should be paying us the money they owe us. All these things we've been working on while
Mhm.
we're paying our employees 100% of what they normally get. Now, I want to make something really clear to everybody. And Jeremy, you can clarify if you need to here. But if you have you laid off your employees, they've gotten unemployment. Now they're getting this big check, this $1,000 a week check, $800 a week check, right? And they say, I don't want to go back to work. I'm fat and happy. I'm getting free money. Why would I go back to work, right? As soon as you say, I'm rehiring you on March 31st, and they say, no, thank you, they now quit, right? They said, no, thank you. I don't want to work for you. And now they're not employed. They quit. They cannot file unemployment legally. Now, maybe they can get away with it illegally and say, hey, they terminated, there'd be an argument there, okay? But they cannot get unemployment if you've offered their job back. And there's no reason they shouldn't get their job back because they're going to be sitting at home working online and you're going to pay them this money until shelter in place is released. Does that all make sense to you, Jeremy? Is that clear?
That makes sense to me. Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's see. If we delay the funds, we could possibly leave team on unemployment longer. The problem is we can't leave the team on unemployment and get this money,
That's right.
which we thought originally was the case. Last night, we actually heard some conflicting information that said, keep them on unemployment, get this money, wait it out, and then don't use the money until you take them off unemployment in like 4 to 6 weeks. But what Jeremy has heard today is no, you've got to initiate the money starting. And that might be the reason why everybody's hearing 8 weeks, because
Right.
you got this basically, April, May-ish, you got to use it up, maybe through the middle of June 30th. So you got about a 2-week window there. So it's like 10 weeks really to June 30th. So what's the earliest we could apply now, right?
Now, yeah.
What's the earliest it could fund?
It depends. I mean, I'm saying it could be 3 to 4 weeks is for funding. Less than 30 days, I would say.
So so that's a good, okay. So that's really interesting that you said that. So let's say I rehire my people and now they're on payroll, but I don't get my money for 3 weeks and I owe a payroll in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That could be a challenge. So I might tell my team, hey, you're going to get your money, but it's going to be delayed.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
They're going to get a week of unemployment for last week and Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay. And then it says, this is a funny question. Is there a recommended bank to use?
5-Star Bank.
Okay. So you do recommend they use 5-Star Bank. All right. Jeremy Stone. So why don't you give them your email address, Jeremy, just in case?
Yeah, absolutely. So I can be reached. I'm working from home. Obviously, my cell phone number, 530-828-6688. And my email is jstone@fivestarbank.com. And you spell out 5, F-I-V-E.
Okay. So jstone@fivestarbank.com.
That's right.
Okay. All right. And it's going to be in the email that I'm going to forward out. So I know there's going to be more questions, and I told Jeremy I would just take 15 minutes of his time. I think we've gone over that, but I appreciate you, Jeremy. Thank you. And I'm sure lots of dentists are going to be in touch with you really soon.
Great. Well, I appreciate it, Eric. Thank you.
All right. Thanks a lot.